what I want to do is possibly give you the answers to problems, and then you can tell me if you got them right or not. All right? So again, I want you to remember we're trying to knock out 10 every day. So there's 30. So we have another 10 today to do, and then tomorrow we'll finish up. And then, like I said, on Monday and Tuesday, we will do the SAT word problems that deal with systems of equations. And then Wednesday, we will probably review. And then Thursday, we will have our test on the systems of equations. And then I feel good about coming back from Thanksgiving, all right, with a fresh start leading up to the exam. It's hard to believe, all right? Now, again, pull out your worksheets. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and start with solutions, all right? And you tell me what you're thinking, all right? Here we go. So, number 6. Anybody get 4 ninths?
Oh, I did.
Good.
I
Yeah.
got 1/3.
I did something wrong.
Listen.
I got 1/3.
So now, hold up a second now. Now what we're going to do is, I don't think I'm going to especially go through the problem as much as I am going to try to demonstrate what I think you should have been able to do. All right? So again, please listen carefully. All right? And again, that was question number 6. All right? Now, again, number 6, I'm trying to tell you, was just like number 5. So if you had a question, you should have kind of looked up at number 5. That's what I'm hoping you can do. All right? Now, when you write a fraction, remember, the fraction is written as n over d for numerator and denominator. All right? Now, from there, it says if 2 is added to the numerator, all right, if 2 is added to the numerator, that's your equation. That is your equation. Now's the time you speak up and say, I'm not sure what you did for that first equation there. Yes.
I'm not sure.
Well, it just says I added 2 to the numerator. The numerator is n, so I added 2.
Oh, well, I meant like this.
No, I'm not asking about that. Nothing about that. All I'm asking about is this blue part right here. Right? Then we take a look at the second equation. The second equation says if 1 is subtracted from the denominator. So this is the second part. At least you should have been able to set that up. All right? And then if you had any trouble, you should have gone back to question number 5 and see how I did that. Now, it's a little bit different, but not entirely. So now, when you have the proportion, we say that you cross multiply. Is everybody okay with the cross multiply? So when we cross multiply, I ended up with 2d is equal to 3n plus 6. All right? Now, again, distributing. All right? That's what you're supposed to be saying to yourself and identifying where you are making your careless mistakes at. All right? Does everybody understand the 3n plus 6 comes from the fact that I expect you to be able to look at that and just say, hey, I'm distributing a 3. All right? Then down here, we're cross multiplying. And so 2n is equal to d minus 1. All right? That's where you should have it set up at. All right? Anybody have any issues with that? So now I'm at this equation and I'm at this equation. The problem is it's not set up as a substitution. I could set it up quickly as a substitution if I took this minus 1 and do what? Add 1. And then I end up with d is equal to what? 2n plus 1. Do you see that now, Emily? You with me now, right? Okay, so now I have it set up properly as a what? Substitution. So wherever I see a d, I can put what? 2n plus 1. Now notice the d is right here. So I'm putting 2n plus 1 in for that D. And when I do that, it's just 2 parentheses 2n plus 1 is equal to 3n plus 6. Yes?
I did not see how you got D is 2n plus 1. Did you? Oh, wait, never mind. That's it.
All right, somebody else. All right, and then from there, it's just doing the math. All right, I feel as if once we set up the equation, you should be good with the math. Thank you.
So if you're moving it over, would it become 2n?
No, because listen, we're not moving the 2n. The only thing we're doing is moving the 1. Now, here's what's a problem. D, I'm reading it backwards, D is equal to then 2n plus 1. But instead of writing it like that, I just flip it. So D is equal to 2n plus 1. All right, come on now. I don't think that was too bad. And it says, what was the original fraction? So the original fraction would have been what? 4/9. Yes, good. What does n equal?
N equals 4.
So D,
Oh.
all
God, I got
right, good. All right. Anybody else? All right, so now let's scroll up and see how you did on the next problem. Now that one just took seconds to do. Listen, on question number 7, I'm expecting everybody just to zip that in and out. That was a simple, simple problem. Hey, come on now, because I got a lot to do. All right, I want you to focus up here and make sure you're good. Now, those of you guys, for whatever reason, and I have no idea why you'd have trouble with that, it's pretty straightforward. That's as easy as it's going to get. What?
So I did 15 over 21, but then I reduced it to 5.
It's not a fraction. Now look, yeah, my secretary often has trouble typing. Okay? So it says, find the what?
Number.
It's supposed to be find the number.
Oh, I thought it was like Y over X.
So she apologizes, all right, for inaccuracies. As she's typing things up, occasionally she misses it. Okay?
That makes a lot of sense.
I'm kind of confused as where you got x minus y equals 6.
How about I got x minus y equals 6 from reading the question? It says the difference. Come on. Difference. Difference means what? There you have it. X minus y equals 6. All right. Please be careful. Come on, guys. Listen. I'm here to tell you. Please ask your own question and ask your question for me. All right? Because I want to get through. I've got 10 more word problems I want to get to. All right? If it takes us too long, you're going to have lots more homework. I'd rather help you in class. All right? Anybody have any issues with 7 now? That was as straightforward as it gets. Any questions? All right. Now, let's pull up number 8, which I thought everybody should be able to do because we did problems similar to that.
You got it right.
Now, over here, yes, it was exactly like 4, actually. So now what you're supposed to do is, again, remember, we're talking about larger and smaller. Is everybody okay with that? Mm-hmm. And when we're talking about larger and smaller, I do think it's important that you write off to the side what the larger one is and what the smaller one is. Now, if you're telling me that y is the larger, or if you're telling me that y is the smaller and x is the larger, does it matter?
No.
No, you will get the same answer, all right? And besides the fact, do the variables matter? No. It just is saying find the numbers. The numbers are what? 41 and 32. You could have used A and B. You could have used L and S for larger and smaller. I just don't like using S because it looks like a 5 half the time. So I like to use X and Y. And when I choose X and Y, if it's different from what the actual word problem is asking about, then I look at this and I write down my note to make sure that I can identify what my solution is and what it represents. All right, does anybody have any questions with number 8? All right. Now, number 9. All right, I'm not sure why 9 was hard at all either. Everybody should be, that was a simple one. Here we go, number 9. It says that there are 158 members in the soccer program. And these members are boys and girls. Right? So we have boys plus girls is equal to 158. And then it says that there are 16 more boys than girls. So those are your two equations. It's set up as a what? System of equations. Everybody good with this? I don't think that was that bad. All right, now, again, I told the last class this. Is it possible that you can figure this out without doing the math? Yes, it's simple to figure it out without doing the math. But here's what I'm telling you. I can make the numbers harder. Does everybody agree with that? You wouldn't be able to do it, right, if I made the numbers harder. The numbers are not what is important. What is important is that you're learning how to do what? Set up the equations. That's what's important. All right, so everybody take a close look at that. Make sure you're setting up the equations. You get half credit for setting up the equation, and you get half credit for the answer. So if you have the answer without the work, you only get half credit. All right, because the numbers are small enough that you can figure that out. All right, but I also want to see that you can figure it out doing the system of equations. Do you have any questions with that? All right, and like I said, I tried to make it clear yesterday. If you're not trying these guys, you're going to sit on Thursday and you're going to look at all these word problems that are on the test. You're going to go, oh my gosh, what am I doing? You have to try every day. If you do 10 problems a day, you're going to be fine. All right? The only other thing that I would ask you to do each night is kind of review the problems that you had trouble with. And that way, it'll be easier for you. All right? So now, let's take a look at question number 10. All right, so for question number 10 now. All right, this is the only one that I thought was new. All right, was anybody able to tell me what the answer was?
Walking was 8 kilometers per hour, biking was 20 kilometers per hour.
Is that what you guys got?
Yeah.
You good?
I got 6 kilometers an hour walking and 22 kilometers an hour.
Perfect. Anybody else? All right. So now I really want you to kind of listen. So I'm kind of happy with some of you guys who figured this out. All right, and hopefully I don't really have to explain much. All right, but something that I do want you guys to remember is distance. The distance formula. Anybody tell me what the distance formula is?
Distance equals rate times time.
Exactly correct. Distance is equal to rate times time. Now, one of the hardest things for young kids is if I say I'm traveling at 50 miles per hour, what does that actually mean?
You're going 50 miles over the course of 1 hour.
So if you were to ride for 1 hour, you would be what? 50 miles down the road. So if you understand that, then these problems aren't going to be much of a problem. All right, so if you're traveling at 50 miles per hour, if you continue driving 50 miles in 1 hour, that's how far down the road you'll be. Everybody with me on that? All right, so that should help if you understand that distance, how far you travel, is simply how fast you're going times how long you're going for that rate. All right, I think that's pretty good. All right, so now the only way you could do this problem is if you kind of understood that concept. All right, so here, let's see if I can make a demonstration. All right, so it says, Kathy walks for 2 hours and rides her bike for 1 hour. She can travel 36 kilometers. All right, so I know her time, but I don't know her what? I don't know her rate. All right, does she have 2 different rates? Yes, because she is walking and biking. That's exactly correct. So we're going to look at it from this perspective. She's walking. Do I know her rate for walking? No, so that's going to be our variable, correct? Now watch, I'm going to write the variable. The rate at which she walks. That is a subscript. Now the subscript is good simply because I don't have to make it x and y. because I'm talking about two different rates, and I want you to know that the rates are different. All right? So I don't know her rate, but I know that she's going to be walking for what? So how far will she have walked after 2 hours? No. How far will she have walked after 2 hours? No. Nope. We don't know. That's what you're supposed to say. But now that we're a little bit more advanced, we can say she walked to R sub W. Do we understand that? Her rate times her time gives me the distance. Plus, how fast is she riding her bike? We don't know. So how fast is she riding it now? R sub B. That's exactly correct. And how long is she riding it for? So the distance that she just traveled was what? No. 1 R sub B. That's correct. Everybody okay with that? And then what's the total distance that she just traveled?
36.
She just traveled 36. All right. Now again, I just use those subscripts just to demonstrate that we're talking about rates, but this is for walking and this is for what? Biking. All right. So now that I've shown you that, somebody set up the next equation for me. Tell me.
2
Good.
R sub W.
Yep.
And then plus 2 R sub B
Equals 56.
equals 56.
Beautiful. That's exactly correct. All right. Now it's just a matter of how do I solve this? What can I do?
Addition.
Yes. I'm going to multiply the top by what? -1. All right, so let's do that. I'm going to multiply the top by -1. So the rate at which she was biking was what?
26.
Was what?
20.
20. So it'd say 20 kilometers per what? 20 kilometers per hour. All right. So now I'm going to take that information and I'm going to plug it in right here. All right. So I would have 2 R sub W plus 20 equals 36. So the rate at which I'm walking would be what? 8 kilometers per hour. All right. Now it specifically says how fast can she walk and how fast can she ride her bike. So those are my answers. All right. Anybody have any questions? Do I have any questions? Again, that was kind of tricky, but again, all right, we'll be using that. All right. Any questions? All right, so let's try now for number 11. Now again, some of these are repeated questions. Some of this is kind of new. All right. So everybody, all right, I want everybody now to try number 11. Set that up. Let's go. I want to see it. Come on, let's go. Try to set up number 11 quickly. It was just like one problem we did yesterday. Now look, I'm asking you to write all that work yesterday. That's the problem. Okay, not now, but you made a mistake. Let's go. Get on that. Shh. Quiet, please. Let's go.
Secretary of State.
Come on, set up number 11. And then once you set it up, just move on. Try the next one. Come on, you got to set it up, not tell me how many there are. Most important thing is setting it up. Just a money problem, just like yesterday. Money goes with money. right, number 11. Dalton, what do we got? Hold up. Q plus D equals 38. Brilliant. And then, all right. Now, it says she had twice as many quarters.
I know, it says he and she.
Yes. All right. So, if she had twice as many quarters, he would have $11. So tell me.
Show the 2Q.
So, what are we thinking?
I put 2Q plus D equals $11.
Okay, so here's what I want to do for you guys. Look right here. 2Q plus D equals what? But we have a problem. Doesn't make sense. Sorry.
We're talking about two different.
Because we're talking about what?
Dollars versus
Money and the amount of coins.
We're talking about money and the amount of coins. This right here is perfect. You doubled the amount of quarters, right? So if she has twice as many quarters, he would have $11. So somehow I've got to convert that to money. What would I do?
Q plus D equals point.
No. Tell me. Think about quarters and dimes. Come on, quarters and dimes. Tell me. What's a quarter worth?
Oh, I get it. 25 cents.
Right, 25 cents. So here's what I want to tell you. So this equation is almost correct, except for the fact that we're talking about what? Dollars. This is coins. So I'd have to multiply this by what? 0.25. And I would have to multiply the D by what? 0.10.
Okay, I get it.
Is everybody with me on this? All right. Again, if she had twice as many quarters, she would have $11. Now, let's fix this. So now, Q plus D equals 38. And then what? 0.5 Q plus 0.1 D equals 11. Anybody have any questions with that? Any questions? Any questions? All right. Now, at this stage of the game, I'm expecting you to be able to solve that. All right? Yes.
I got
Actually, what I want to do is I'm going to let everybody do that tonight. All right. Thank you, though. All right. Now, I want everybody to see what they can do for question number 12 now. All right. Try to read number 12. Kind of tricky. Listen, guys, I'm telling some of you guys, I know guessing and checking, you can just figure it out. All right, I'm interested in setting up the equations and then solving the equations. That's what you're supposed to do. For each one, you should have 2 equations. Every time. And number 12 is the hard one. One step at a time. Now, I really don't like O, right? Looks like a 0. So do yourself a favor. Call her Olivia or something like that. L. Something. All right? Come on, give it a shot. Set something up. Now the second part is the hard part. Come on, give it a shot. Some of you guys haven't even written down the first part yet. Try something. Try to set something up. Come on, the worst you can be is wrong. Not bad, some of you. All right, here we go. So, Livia had 30 more than Carl. So how do I write that equation? Tell me.
L plus 30 equals C.
Now, look right here now. That's a good mistake, and I'm glad you made it. Now, Olivia is, you see what I'm saying? So instead, I think you wanted it to be L is equal to C plus 30, not L plus 30 equals C. If you do L plus 30 equals C, that means Carl has more. You agree with that? It should, your first statement should be L is equal to C plus 30. Any issues with that? Everybody should have been able to write that down. Yes.
Could it be C equals L minus?
Of course. I just prefer what? Addition. All right, she said something smart, because if I move the 30 to the other side, L minus 30 equals C. Still good. All right, now the hard parts. Here we go. It says, if they each had $7 less. So how much does Olivia have right now? Do we know?
No.
So she has what? No. No. She has what?
23 more.
L. Right now, Olivia has L. Right now, Carl has what? C. We don't know. All right, we just know there's a relationship between L and C. Right now, Olivia has L. So it says, if they each had 7 less. So how much would L have if she had 7 less? L minus 7. And how much would Carl have?
C minus 7.
C minus 7. It says if they each had 7 less, the sum, you would add them together,
Equals L.
it would equal L. Look up now, look at this. All right, if you got that right, that's pretty good. All right, look at that. All right, now again, I'm just trying to tell you how to make the translation now. You have to know how to do that. You have to know how to do that. Yes, sir.
So I simplified that down to L.
That's exactly right.
L plus C minus 14.
Well, we can do even a little better than that. We can do better than that. What happens to the L's here?
They cancel out.
Yay, look at that. So it's not really that difficult of a problem to start out with. What can I do to the 2 L's? They cancel, right? So in other words, if I were just to look at this and say minus L, combined terms, C minus 14 equals 0. Does that make sense? So Carl had what?
14.
Carl had $14.
So that gives.
Yes.
Is it okay? I did a substitution.
No. Listen. Here's what. Look. Some of you guys are going to ask me. If you got the right answer, I'm happy. All right. Provided you set up the equations. I'm not happy if you just say what the answer is, and I have no idea how you got the answers. The important part, half the credit is setting it up. The other half is showing me how you got the right answer. Are there lots of ways to get the answer? Yes. Lots of ways. But I just looked over here right off the bat and I said, wow, this is kind of a good problem for me because the L's are going to do what? The L's are going to cancel. All right, so now we have Carl is at 14. If Carl is at 14, then Olivia would be at what? 44. Olivia would be at 44. Now, I'm not sure if I'm correct. Hey, come on, boys. If you have a question, I want you to ask. All right, I don't want to be interrupted now. Hey, Reed, you with me? I'm telling you. All right. Now, I think it's really simple to kind of check these because the numbers are kind of small. All right. So what does Olivia have to start out with? 44. So watch what I'm trying to show you now. If Olivia starts out with 44, it says if each person had 7 less. If each person had 7 less, Carl would have what?
7.
And Olivia would have 37. Their sum would equal to how much Olivia has. That's so easy to check. All right, hopefully you got that. What?
I'm confused on how L minus 7 plus 37 equals L.
Because I read the problem. Here we go. Look, real carefully. It's this simple. If they each had 7 less, that means Olivia has 7 less and Carl has 7 less. You with me on that? Hey, I'm helping. Their sum, or the sum. So that means this sum. You with me now, right? And again, I understand, right? Part of the problem is, again, that's what I'm saying. Tonight, the most important part is finish up the problems, but it's also go back and reread the questions and make sure the translation makes sense for you now. All right, because it's not doing any good. I don't want everybody to hear me just writing things down off the board. And you're not trying to write the equation yourself. All right? It's not going to be easy. All right? So, everybody, scroll up. Everybody try 13. Well, just read 13. And then I would like... Thank you, Virginia. Go ahead. Set up 13 for me. Very easy. Yes, but you're 100% right. But wouldn't it be easier just to say x minus y? You see what I'm saying, right? And again, it doesn't matter, and you would get the same answer. Okay, but I just think it's easier if we just stay consistent. All right, now look, stop there. We're not going any forward. If you can't solve that, I'm in trouble. All right, that's just practice, making sure you're reviewing. All right, so now we're going down to question number 14. All right, Drew, lead me in this one. Wait, n plus d is equal to... Shh, he can figure it out. He's brilliant.
27.
Thank you. N plus d is equal to 27. Again, just to reinforce, we're talking about coins. You have nickels and dimes that total 27 coins. So now the next equation is what? Point what?
No, 0.05.
Thank you. 0.05 n plus
Plus 0.1D.
0.1 d equals 1.95. Brilliant. Do we all know how to solve that? Yeah, that's easy. All right, very easy. All right, here we go. Slide up, number 15. All right, I want everybody to try 15. Give you a minute, see if you can set something up here. Have fun. Yeah, I like the drawings. Try not to draw so big that you run out of room. Drawing is the biggest part. What a square means. No. All right, so here we go. Look up for a second now. All right, the square house. All right, you live in a square house. All right, that is 24 feet. And what I did was I just put 24 on each side. All right, is everybody with me on this? All right, just so I could demonstrate. All right, so I didn't forget. And the next thing is, we know it's a square, so these are all right angles. I'm not even sure if that matters. All right. But your house is on a lot. All right. So your lot, is your lot a square? No, your lot is not a square. So your lot, here is your house. All right. Your house sits on your lot. And it says here that your lot is 50 feet longer than it is wide. So this is its width, and this is its length. Everybody okay with that? But we know that its length is what?
50W.
50W?
50 plus.
50 more than, that would be 50 times greater.
Yeah.
So it would be what? There you go. W plus 50. Is everybody okay with that? All right, that's kind of what should be on your picture to start out with. What?
Instead of doing W, could you just put 24?
No. Listen, I'm understanding some of you guys now are having, that's why I'm trying to make sure that you understand. As we're reading this, if you misinterpret what it says, it's kind of hard to get the problem correct.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying, right? So here's my square house. My house is on a lot, and my lot is 50 feet longer than it is wide. That's all I know. That's all I know. Now, come on, listen. Listen, guys, what I'm trying to tell you now is it's much better for me to try to help you girls. Listen. It's much better for me to try to walk you through how I'm setting it up than it is to come up with the answer. All right? This is how I'm trying to make you better right now, is by drawing things out so you can see it better. Go ahead. Now, your job right now is to say, yes, I understand what you drew up on the board, or I have no idea what you're talking about. How did you get that from reading that? If you can say, wow, I understand how you got that, then we're in pretty good shape right now. I'm not setting up the equations. I'm just interpreting what was read and putting it on a picture. Does anybody have any issues with that? Speak up, because now we're about to get started. All right? So I have one equation up there, and I have one relationship with the length and the width, so that is 1. All right? That's one relationship. All right? The next thing it says is that the perimeter of the lot is 20 more than 5 times the perimeter of the house. Okay, so I want someone to tell me the perimeter of my lot. What would just be the perimeter of the lot? Hubble.
500 feet.
500 feet. Beautiful. How did you get that?
I did 24 times 4, and then I did it times 5 and added 20.
Is everybody happy with that? That is exactly correct. Couldn't have said it better myself. So listen here real quick, just to make sure you understand. The perimeter of my lot is 20 feet more than 5 times the perimeter of the house. So I have to find the perimeter of the house. So the perimeter of the house is simply 24 times 4, which is 96, correct? And then 96 times 5. Hello? Yes. Mike, when you're leaving. So now 96 times 5, come on, 96 times 5 is 480. And then 20 feet more than that would make it what? 500 would make it 500. Is everybody with me now? So the perimeter of my lot is 500 feet. Now, what's the formula for perimeter of a rectangle? I don't care. I don't care. You're interrupting me. What?
2L plus 2W.
That is correct. 500 is equal to 2L plus 2W. Anybody have any questions with that? Anybody have any questions with how I got 500? Because we were a little interrupted. Everybody okay with 500? Now, the next thing I want everybody to get in the habit of doing is look at this. 500, 2, and 2. What can I do to make that easy on myself?
Divide everything by 2.
Divide everything by 2. Thank you. Divide everything through by 2. And when I divide everything through by 2, now I have just what?
250 equals L plus 1.
Good. L plus W is equal to 250. Everybody good with this?
Mhm.
And now what does L equal?
W plus 50.
Wherever I see an L, I'm going to put W plus 50. W plus 50 plus W equals 250. 2W equals 200. So W is equal to what? 100. Everybody happy with that?
Mhm.
And if W is 100 feet, then the length would be what? 150 feet. And what are they asking me for here?
The length of the lot.
The length. So my only answer is actually what? 150 feet. That's my only answer. Yes.
Wouldn't you have,
Don't. Come on. Just ask a
do you
question.
divide by 2 afterwards though?
What?
Because there's like 2 lengths.
I already divided by 2 up here.
No, but like, there's
Look, it's the length and width have to add up to what?
250.
So if this is 150 and this is 100, that adds up to what?
250.
You're welcome. What?
What I think Gavin was trying to say is why didn't you re-multiply it?
I already know what Gavin is asking. All right. Do you understand the answer
Yes.
to my question?
Yes.
Okay. So he's, trust me, can defend himself. Do you understand what I just said, Gavin?
Yes, you already divided.
I already divided. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. I need you to remember all you have to do is look up at the information. All right. Is the information true? Right? Is the perimeter of this rectangular lot 500? If I say that's 150 and that's 100. 150 plus 100 is 250 times 2, 500. We're right on the money. All right, perfect. All right, is everybody good with that? All right, I know we're running out of time, so let's take a look. Number 16. All right, Noel, you're up. Tell me how to do 16. What's the equation? Thank you very much. Exactly correct. 5A plus 2C equals 6,100. And then what? Remember, those are tickets. Yes, that's all it is. That's exactly right. Adult plus children tickets equal 1,820. Is everybody happy with that? All right. So we can do that. All right. Now, I want everybody to read 17. I want you to give me a quick, you got 30 seconds. Read it. See if you can do it. All right. This one's the tricky one. Set it up. Let's go. So we're not figuring anything out. without figuring anything out. You're writing the equations. Patrick, give it a shot. Now remember, all you're asking yourself are, what are we talking about? What are we talking about here? How many what? Questions. Now, what types of questions are there? And the... Wow, look at you right off the bat. Correct plus incorrect is equal to 50. Hold up a second. Does everybody agree with that? Correct plus incorrect is 50. How many points now for correct? 15 correct. Uh-oh. Now what? No, not plus. Yeah, because you lose points. Minus 8i equals what? Come on, guys. That was not that hard now. That was not that hard. I threw in a little tricky one there because of the minus. Right, does everybody agree with me on that? All right, now remember what your job is try to do 18, 19, and 20, okay? And actually, 1 through 20 are supposed to be done, and you should be coming in here tomorrow saying, I know how to do all 20, great, or please help me with number 3 again. All right? Well, we'll go through all 20 tomorrow. Make sure you're practicing. Excellent job.